giving me the shit.
Hello, welcome to All About You. I'm Stephen J. Murphy, and the show would be nothing without you. So we're up to about show 18 now, and it's about your past, your present, and your future. Oh my God!
What a way to start the show! Steve has been telling his one-liners for the last half an hour while we've been trying to get set up to start the show, so we may as well just get it out of the table. We've been laughing for about 20 minutes.
And the program as well, Viv. Thanks very much. But I don't know how we're going to hold it together tonight. Now, we didn't plan this.
Not.
The universe is doing this.
Oh, come on. Take ownership of your own shit.
Yeah, I beg your pardon.
I apologise.
We've got a great show coming up tonight. And Fiona Rain is with us. Hello, Fiona. Everybody give Fiona a clap. Lovely. Oh, goodness me.
Hi.
And we've got Kay Hinwood with us as well. Kay, hello. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Yes, I thought you rubbed of your voice there for a moment, Mother. And Linda Usope, thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome.
Clairvoyant, have been for many, many years.
Many years,
And you had these wonderful experiences in the last, really the last couple of years. You met some very influential people. They invited you to America.
Absolutely. Lisa Williams, I'm one of her master teachers, so...
That is such an honour, Linda.
Above and beyond, absolutely. She's just a beautiful friend, more than just a mentor or a teacher, but she's an amazing friend.
I also would like to go to Lilydale. We were discussing in the green room. That is on my bucket list.
I think it should be on everybody's bucket list, Lilydale. It's the mecca of, I think, spirituality. It's just where I think everyone should go, just to experience where we came from and the history of who we are, where we came from, and knowing that we've been around for a very long time. It's like a beautiful little suburb that's locked in this beautiful town just outside of Buffalo, and every home is built in the 16th to the 18th century. Every home is owned by a medium, a psychic, a healer. There's 3 churches.
Oh, what a lovely place.
Absolutely, 3 churches on the premises.
Sounds like Bath in England. Have you been there?
No,
I love
no,
Bath. It's
no.
like a scene out of the Flintstones.
Yeah, this is basically
I have.
We have Amanda Hall is also going to be joining us on the show, and this week we're going to be talking about the moon in the signs. We're talking about where the moon is in Capricorn.
What's it in this week?
No, it's in Libra. The moon is in Libra, Scorpio and Sagittarius. So if you have got records of when you were born, prior to 1975 it really wasn't obligatory, but after 1975 there was a universal trend where everybody was starting to record their time of birth and where they were born on the earthly plane. Now, if you give that to a professional astrologer, they can pinpoint exactly where you're going to be in the present and also in the future. It's fascinating stuff, and also the progressed moons will tell you more about your life than you could ever have imagined. So
sometimes want to know.
The master is on tonight, and she's going to be joining us very shortly.
The amazing Amanda. And just before we move on, I'd like to just discuss with you for a moment. Okay, you had an experience, you were involved in a car accident when you were young where you said your grandmother spoke to you, and this was life-saving?
Definitely. Yeah, I heard her as clear as day saying, jump onto the driver's lap, curl up into a ball now. So I did that, and there was nothing left of my side of the car, so she saved my life.
My goodness. Yeah. Was that just moments before the accident?
Yes. Before it impacted with the telegraph pole that snapped in half.
Wow. And you heard it, you heard your grandmother's voice?
Yes, as clear as day as you're sitting here talking to me. Yeah, so she saved my life, and she just passed a couple of months before that, so I was very lucky.
You've been clairvoyant since you were very, very young.
Yes.
When did you first realise you felt different, or were you frightened by this, or...?
I was always feeling different all my life. It did frighten me. I had to learn why I had it and how to use it, which is very interesting.
And did you draw upon sort of mentors to help you with that, or did you find your own way?
I started reading books.
Yeah.
Like the Solitary Wiccan, and reading books written by other psychics, mediums, people on the same page, and I thought, gosh, I've got so much in common with these people. I felt, I was at home, not so much by myself.
So, Kay, like a lot of clairvoyants and psychics, they have an access platform. Sometimes it's astrology, or sometimes it's palm reading. What's your access to spirit?
I would say
that
mediumship.
you feel comfortable with?
Definitely mediumship.
Yeah. And it comes through what? Through voices you hear?
Through visions in my third eye, in my mind, voices, feelings, very deep feelings, through all of your senses. You get messages from spirit, definitely.
Well, we'll be very interested to see some of those questions answered tonight. You've got the tarot cards ready, ladies, so great to have you with us. And we've got information there on our screen if you'd like to access our show. Also on our All About You page on Facebook, there is a link to YouTube, and you can drop those questions into All About You AUS as soon as you can. Well, we're very thrilled to have with us, Rain is with us once again on the program.
And our special guest this evening.
Absolutely, no reading
Talking
tonight.
about one of your
Leave it for you
many
guys.
talents, which you just seem to have, like a whole library of them.
Oh, look, I've just done so much over my life. I'm not practicing as a kinesiologist or naturopath, but I use it in my shamanic practices. So I do use it here and there. I should use it more. Spirit told me today when I was researching, like, see, you're not doing this. So
Well, maybe it's time to sort of pull that out of the treasure kit and start working with it.
Definitely.
But those things are great to have, those modalities, because they can be there for a lifetime. It doesn't matter when you use them. They'll come when they're necessary.
You never stop learning.
Yeah.
You know, the more you know you don't know. And you just got to keep
that's
learning.
so true.
That's
It's so true, isn't it?
true.
And that's what's scary. You think you're right up there, and it's like, no, I'm not. I'm still down on the third rung of the ladder, And do you ever get to the top? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You're talking about kinesiology tonight.
I am.
Exactly what is that?
Okay, so it's the biofeedback of the body, and it's a language to communicate with the body's intelligence. So it will tell you on what's blocked in your body, how it became blocked, when it became blocked, how to unblock it. And Louise is here tonight, and we've been talking earlier because she's actually experienced kinesiology in a really positive sense. There's so many different types of things it can help with. It's structural, it's biochemical, it's emotional, it's psychological, and it depends on the food, the air. Emotions really affect us, which Louise can tell you a little bit about, because we were talking about that. Yeah.
If you were to go to a kinesiologist, though, and that they may very well say, well, what brings you here today? It could be something as being not focused on a plan or a wish, or to resolving or helping to resolve a health issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we go about it?
Well, it affects everything. I mean, it's an intelligent system, and it works in vibrational. So if the body isn't flowing properly, if there's something blocked, then the muscle is going to go weak, okay? So basically what we're doing is let me do an example here. Everybody, I want you to test your necks, okay? So if you turn your neck to the right and then turn your neck to the left, and just be aware of where it's really stiff. So which side is stiff, the right, the left? Yeah, you've felt where the stiffness is. Then one of the quick ways of treating is if you take your ears and you hold them on the tip, so everybody holds their ear on the tip. This is like, hi, and then roll it out. Right, and just do that a few times. So you're actually rolling the pieces of your ears out.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. It's like Dr. Spot.
Get my earpiece back, Scotty.
Okay, and then test your neck again. Do it again.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
So that is
That's
basically an
incredible.
acupressure point that will release it. It's in charge of all the meridians and stuff. So that will release any stiff necks.
So many people have problems with with stiff neck.
Absolutely.
It's like a common thing.
Absolutely. If you're a little bit low of energy, you can tap your thymus. It's sort of like Tarzan, and you just sort of go like this, and this will bring your energy. Oh, sorry, microphone.
Yes, I know, it's just doing the same as well.
Tap gently.
Everybody's just got deaf in the control room, by the way.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, you tap, that will bring your
I know
energy
you're
up.
Tarzan.
If you're in flight or fight, that can be the reflex at the back.
I've heard.
Sorry. That can be the reflex at the back. So if you want to bring your attention and your focus to the moment, you just tap in the front. And that will bring your attention back. So if you're a bit stressed and you know you want to go, you want to fight or flight, then just tap it and it will bring you back into the moment. That's quite a good one as well.
And is there a number
You're
of
very
times
good
you've
at
got
this.
to tap, or is it just
I can just tell. I think I would be very confident in having a kinesiology session.
myself as well?
Oh,
I'd
thank
love
you.
to.
It's a process because you've got to get to the answers. So you've got to ask the body, you know, it looks at it holistically. So where is the issue coming from? The medical, as good as the medical are, they treat the symptoms, not really the cause. They're not educated in nutrition and in the emotional states. When does a doctor ever come, and you were talking about this as well, when does a doctor come to you and go, so what's going on at home? How are you actually feeling? Are you stressed by your kids? What's your husband doing? Sometimes this emotional reaction will create the blocks in the energy. And that's what we've got to clear. But where is it coming from? A headache doesn't mean let's take a Panadol and get rid of the headache. Like the stiff neck, it could be just a point that needs to be unblocked, and you just need to balance. The muscles work in pairs. So if one becomes a bit slack, the other one takes up the tension and becomes knotted. So it's unblocking that tension.
And
so
medication doesn't always necessarily work anyway. There was a story this week, I think it was on a current affair or the news, that they've now proven that Panadol and, you know, some medications actually don't fix.
actually makes you
stiff
worse. It gives you
muscles
acid.
or headaches.
No.
So,
But the
yeah.
body can heal itself. If it's given the moment and given the chance, it can heal itself. But we put so much stress, like the emotional,
That's
you know,
the word.
biochemical.
Stress does it every time.
Stress does
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
bring yourself back into the moment
Yes.
and let it go. But the kinesiology will get to the root of a problem.
Rain, you're with a special lady tonight, Louise.
I am.
Welcome to our show.
thank you
and
so
I love
much.
your green. It's such a
thank
happy
you.
colour.
It's just
complimenting.
Yeah, you look really sweet.
Oh, it is too.
You've experienced,
Soon,
you've experienced kinesiology.
I have, very recently.
What was your story regarding that?
Well, I needed to give up smoking because I have got cancer, quite virulent cancer. And so I said to a girlfriend, look, I've got to give up smoking. And I knew her sister was into healing and hypnotherapy. So I said to her, can you ask Vicky if I can see her? So she rang me and she said, Vicky's ready to see you. So I went up to see her. And we started off, she said, I can't heal your smoking unless I know what's causing it. So this is where she started off with kinesiology, and she went through my body, held the hands, did tapping, did all sorts of things on me. I didn't know what she was doing, but she found the answer to what was actually causing me to smoke. So then she did a healing on me, she did Reiki, she did hypnotherapy, she did tarot, and I walked out a non-smoker. But better than that was 2 weeks later I had to have another CT scan to see how bad I'd become. Well, my oncologist said, this is miraculous. She said, your cancer is shrinking. She said, I have never seen it. She said, what have you been doing? And I told her about my experience, and she said, well, just keep doing that because it is miraculous.
That's what the doctor actually
That's
advised
my...
you.
No, she didn't advise me to do
Well,
it.
she just said
but
just
that's
keep doing that.
After she saw the CT scan, and I mean, was becoming quite aggressive, the cancer, and it had started to shrink.
So have you continued on with this therapy?
I will.
Seeing the
Yeah, I will.
So that was just from one treatment?
That was exactly one treatment,
How long ago did you stop smoking?
a month.
My goodness.
Do you know, to look at you, you don't look like you've been smoking. Normally,
thank you.
normally you can see in the skin. The skin can look like it's a little bit grey. You can look tired, but I don't see that in your eyes at all.
Well, she did this wonderful thing for me and said to me, now what you've got to do, what I want you to do, is to become the person you were when you were single. And she said, did you like that person? And I said, I loved her. She was great fun. And she said, well, that's what's going to happen to you now. You're going back to that person. And look, ever since I've felt, I don't know, all these wonderful things. Look at tonight. I mean, who'd have thought that I'd be here with you guys? Wonderful people. The whole universe has just opened up for me.
Yes.
It's kind of a little bit like Shirley Valentine. You've gone out and found yourself again. And then found yourself on this show. It's like a lovely experience like she had many of in the movie. It's one of my favourite movies.
Absolutely, I love
of all
Shirley
time.
Valentine.
It's never too late
Never
to
too
start again and again and again.
Louise, will you continue to keep going through the procedure?
I don't have to, but I will continue to
Yes,
see her
yes.
because she gives me such joy.
Yes. Is there a university course, Rain, to do kinesiology?
There's a lot of different courses, but there's lots of different types of kinesiology. I don't have the actual list with me, but there's applied kinesiology, there's clinical kinesiology. There's all different types, so you've got to know really what you want to study for. Touch for Health is a great one for releasing emotional, which she would have done with you, and with the ESR.
Yeah, she did.
And that releases a lot of emotions because the emotions are blocking us. You know, the stress factors again. So it depends what you want, but there is a lot of colleges out there. I
Yes.
studied in the UK, so I don't.
Yes.
I'm not sure of the names of the colleges out here.
Leading up to all of this, Louise, would you have felt you were stressed in any way?
Oh yes, yeah. I had a very, very bad experience 27 years ago, and it's held me virtually in a cocoon for all those years. I have done other things, and I have come out of it occasionally, but I always seem to regress back into this cocoon. And yeah, I have been stressed, not to the extent that I was way back then, but certainly now I feel relief. I feel this openness. I feel so different to what I did before I went to see her.
When you were having the kinesiology, at
Yes.
what point during the process did you have like an epiphany?
Not until the very end of when she said, I'm going to pull out a tarot card for you to see if we're on the right track. And she pulled out and she said, I want you to take a photo of this, which I did with my phone. And it was to thine own self be true. And I thought, oh, she said, we're on the right track. We're on the right track. So it was just wonderful.
Do you feel that you would ever feel confident enough to let go of traditional treatment, or would you do them together, combined?
Probably combined. Yeah, I think, well, certainly.
Take the best of
I
both.
have a great, my oncologist, I'm very, very happy with her. And she has been a true friend rather than just a doctor. We go and have a great social time when I go in there to see her. But I like what she says, and she's very, like, I mean, when I was smoking, she never put me down for smoking. She never said, you
That's important.
have to stop smoking or anything like that. She just dealt with what she could deal with. And I have great respect for that.
It's amazing how many incredible healers there are on the planet in whatever form they take.
It's just finding the root to why. Where did it start? And that's what we were talking about before with the kinesiology. You can choose an age. You could have a trauma when you're 9. You could have a trauma when you're 25. And you don't realise that it's been such an emotional shock that it's affected the vital force of the body. So the body can't heal. And another thing is, if you're told you're sick and you believe you're sick, you also can't heal properly because you're blocking that. You know, there isn't such... I don't like saying to people, you're sick. I like saying, you're not at ease. You're a little bit diseased. In other words, you're not sick. It's just your body isn't working. The vital force isn't running. It isn't balanced. So if you can open it up and balance it, then the body is a natural force that will heal itself. You can use crystals, you know, hydrotherapy, acupuncture, osteopath, chiropractic, all
Yes,
different
I
systems.
find
you
it a
can-
fascinating subject. I don't know much about it, and yet everyone that I've heard, everybody has had this amazing, and I don't like to use that word because it's bandied around so much, everything's amazing,
And that name
but it
belongs
has
to
been an
Amanda now.
amazing experience for a lot of people, hasn't it?
And also, well, I mean, we've talked about the kinesiology, but you're also a naturopath.
Yeah. Well, I've got a diploma in naturopathy.
you're a
Again, you know, if this is just again working with the body's vital force. So it could be anything. You can do exercise, diet, hydrotherapy, supplements, osteopath, kinesiology, massage, herbal medicine, any like that is all within the naturopathy. But it's living in nature and living in balance with nature and eating natural foods. The more organic you can get, you don't want to eat meats. You want to eat more the grains and the greens. Everything that most people know. That's sort of what naturopathy is. you know, but it's just bringing it to the forefront. And then if you can't do it, why can't you do it? Let's use kinesiology and see what is the block. Or what are your allergies? You know, if you've got an allergy against wheat or milk or sugar, you can test the body, and if the body, the muscle testing goes weak, then you've got an intolerance to it. And kinesiology can pick up things 5 years before blood tests. So I remember a friend doing it to me back in the UK. This is before I did my diploma, and this is one of the reasons I did it. And she said, "You've got a problem with your thyroid." And I was like, "Yeah, well, yeah, what's this thing? Kinesiology, muscle testing." But sure enough,
So
5
she
years...
picked up on that with you?
With me. 5 years later, it came up in my blood test. And I was like, oh, I should have taken that iodine. But it does, it picks it up, because the body, if it doesn't like something, it's not going to be strong. The muscle's not going to hold. It's going to be intolerant to whatever substance. So, you know, in kinesiology you can have vials, but if you don't have the vials, then you can grab a bit of wheat and you can do a test and see if it's affecting you.
Can people test themselves at home? Or
You
it's a little bit
can. You can
hit
do it with
and
the finger testing. You know, so if you think of something positive, like my name's Rain, it will hold. If I say my name's John, it wouldn't hold as well.
I just did that. I just said to myself, my name's Viv, and then I said, my name's Jack.
Yeah, it doesn't hold. It's very subtle. And also, if you're buying food, you know, this is another thing I learned, because I also did vibrational medicine. And you can stand and use your body as a bit of a pendulum. So if you want to know what you're eating, and you take, say, an apple, and say, does my body... First of all, you've got to test and say, OK, body, tell me what a yes is, and it might go forward, or it might go back, or it might go to the right, or it might go to the left. And you use your body as a pendulum. So you can take that apple and say, do you like this? Is this going to be good for my vital force? And it might go yes. Or it might go, no. So I do that a lot when I'm shopping. People think I'm nuts. I hold there, I go, yeah, no. Yeah.
Louise, it's...
I'll have to do that with a glass of wine.
I know what it's going to be.
Louise,
We'll go way back.
Isn't there shades of Louise that remind you of Louise O'Hays?
Exactly.
I just thought of that then. I was thinking, what is it about Louise? There's something Louise Hayes about you.
Oh, I love Louise.
You can heal your life.
And I was going to say, how do you feel, not at this particular moment, but as we come into this new year, you've really said goodbye to an era, haven't you?
I have. Yes, I've said goodbye to good and bad times. I've said goodbye to those times, and there's all these new... I mean, I just can't believe all the new possibilities that have arisen.
How would you be on the speaking circuit?
I'd love it.
You know what?
Yeah, you'd be awesome for that.
I'm picking up something there. So I just think you're a wonderful woman. I can just see it in your spirit.
Oh,
Yeah, you
What
shine.
an inspiration
You
you are.
absolutely shine.
And she's only
Your eyes
25.
Well, it's thrilling to have you with us, Louise. I hope we can
you
get you
so
back.
much, yeah.
Oh, I hope. I'd love to
We'd
come
love to
back.
have you back as well.
Can you also tell us the name of the clinic that you went to, that you had the kinesiology at?
Yeah, well, it's a lady's name, Vicky Chandler, Integrated Therapies, and she's in Victoria, Williamstown.
And if you're in Sydney, you can always go and see Rain.
Yeah, yay!
With her blessing, we may get some information and pass. We're going to have
Yeah.
viewers asking
Definitely.
about where we could get in touch with her.
Well, she is. She's
And,
a wonderful, wonderful woman.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's thrilling to have you with us, Louise.
Oh, thank
We'll have to
you
get
so
her on
much.
Skype, if she's from down there.
Rain, thank you for
Thank
coming
you
in.
so
Thank
much,
you,
Rain.
darling.
It's just wonderful to see you.
And
Love you all.
You'll be back on the March 20 show, so I believe.
I will be.
So
yes.
that will be, it was a few weeks away, but it'll be here before we know it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in, my
Lincoln
love.
will be there.
Great to have you with us,
Lovely,
ladies.
lovely to meet you. Oh,
Let's
lovely to meet you. Just a joy.
turn the camera, and we have Kay Hinwood, who is with us, and delightful to have you with us, Kay, a new guest on the show.
Thank you.
And
Nice
Linda
to be here.
Usope with us as well.
Thank
Your readings are very, very, they connect. And
Beautiful.
we've been watching you. No wonder you've been snapped up by the Americans. They're all watching now.
No, my home is here in Australia.
Yeah, but no, it's nice the way you communicate. We've got our topic of discussion coming up a little bit later on. It's called Surviving Cancer. And there's many people now who have been experiencing the highs and the lows of this new journey and having to negotiate the uncertainty of it. So it will be the topic of discussion tonight, how
It
to...
affects pretty much everyone or, you know, within a family unit now. It's the statistics are 1 in 3, I think, or 1 in 4.
It's just unfortunate. I wonder if sometimes I can't help but think, you know, we never really had these issues, did we? As big as they are now.
We didn't have the lifestyle that we have today.
Yeah,
and we
or
didn't
the
have the stress
stress.
and the pressures
Yeah.
that we have today. So, but in the meantime, Steve, you're going to do a couple of numerology readings for us, I hear tonight.
Yes, is that imminent?
That is
now?
imminent.
Well, I don't normally do those, do we? But I'm happy to do them. I spent.
We're testing Steve at improv.
I did 12
improvisation.
years on the radio doing numerology readings. Do you know, can I tell you, in my whole history of that radio show that I had in Sydney, I was doing numerology. It was a little program I had, and it just grew and grew and grew. I had no idea that there was this huge psychic industry outside this little show that I did, like the body and the spirit festivals, and they're all over the world, and I didn't realise how massive they were until I left that show. And I
So
never
you were
really
in your
went to-
little cocoon in this show,
Well-
in the radio room,
Yeah, but
completely unaware of what's going on around you.
But when you're in
Zoned in
radio,
on your own.
as I was, and anyone who knows me from radio, or they work in radio, I find even it odd trying to describe the euphoric feeling you feel from that industry.
Even when
It's
your
just-
boss used to say, what did he used to say to you? Steve. Steve.
Margaret's in your ear. I did have a couple of
Not this time.
producers, you'd often get the hotline in the studio and they'd say, the city's ablaze, I haven't heard any reports on the air about a fire.
So you were constantly in trouble, weren't you?
No, not really. I was in trouble enough. I don't think that I didn't rate much other than that Saturday night show. But anyway, we used to do those psychic readings, and it was just it was very special. And I used to listen to people's voices on the radio through the phone. But you know, it's an interesting thing because you can be viewed as, oh, Steve's lost the plot. He's just off on his own tangent. But you know what? That can happen in any industry. It can happen in politics. It can happen in nursing. It can happen
Especially
at the local
politics.
garage.
In certain countries.
But yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of people who may be questioning their existence in any particular profession. And you know what my advice is? It doesn't matter what you do. When you find yourself out of a job, be it radio, be it politics, and we've seen that happening everywhere, or any job, just keep doing. Do something. Do anything.
One foot in front of the other.
To a degree, it's important what you're doing because you've got to like what you're doing, but just do something because so many times I see people that are not doing and you lose your confidence.
Never true of that saying,
Yeah.
never give up.
Never give
true.
up. Just do something, even if it's walking the dog. Elena, thank you for writing in. And can we just pop that address up on the screen there, kiddos? Thank you very much. allaboutyouau@gmail.com. Now, you can drop us a line into our inbox through that, or check out our Facebook page, All About You, on the Facebook page. And we've got a link there which takes you straight to YouTube, and we'll be networking our show through YouTube. So every week now. Elena writes in, she's the 6th of July, 1968. Can Steve do a numerology reading for
Which
me?
is you.
And here you go, Elena. Look, I did look at this birth date, and I think you're a very strong lady. You always have been. And it's not to suggest you have to be the boss, but you know what? You serve better when you are the boss. And I found when I was looking at this particular birth date, there's somewhat of a leader with you. But over the last few years, and I'll probably go back 6-7 years, there's been an influence, and you're probably feeling it a little bit now. You're facing a little bit of opposition with people, be it in a professional capacity, could even be in relationships. And I want you to walk away from anything that may be trying to be on the attack with you. So, why am I saying this? But this is what I'm feeling with you. So over the next few years, anybody who wants to challenge you, condemn you, criticise you, or put you into a hole, try and think more about yourself. Come back to yourself and remember me for saying it to you, because it is important. And I was about to say I'm not too sure why I'm saying that to you, but it's something I feel I need to tell you. Also with you, my love, I reckon that there's some professional capacity which you're working through. There's another 4 years of this where you will be at crossroads at the moment, but as you go into this next 4-year cycle, you'll be looking at perfecting your skills. It's not till about mid-50s, coming up to 57, 58 and beyond, I see that you're going to be faced with some very serious opportunities. You're going to be grasping these. You can look out for a trip towards America or the Americas, and the only thing I see that is a challenge for you is that sometimes you may feel like you're lacking a little bit in confidence. So how to address that? Think more about what Elena wants. What does she want? And stop tying yourself to all these people's obligations, because sometimes you feel like you're a little bit thwarted. Now, that birth date was July 6, 1968. And it would also suggest to me, naturally, children and animals, they just love you. They're just drawn to you. So when in doubt, if you're looking for unconditional love, seek those beautiful gifts from God, shall we say. Now, how was that for a reading?
That was an amazing reading, but you always give amazing readings.
Oh, thank you, Viv.
You do.
Yes.
And you just break into almost reading song. And and out comes poetry. And it's always spot on advice. Every now and then we'll just be sitting down having a chat together and a bite to eat, and you'll come out with something like tonight. I just walked into the studio to get ready for work tonight, and Steve looks at me and says, I see you're going to get a new pair of glasses. Now, you do tend to say off-the-cuff things like that at off-the-cuff times. Just, spontaneously. And I just looked back at Steve and said, well, I just got off the phone from the optometrist and I've got to get a new pair of glasses because mine is scratched up because I keep dropping them and throwing them in my bag and doing all sorts of silly things with my expensive prescription glasses. So sure enough, he was right. Just like that. You're going to get a new pair of glasses. Yep, I just rang the optometrist.
Yeah, it just comes very, very clearly there. But you're delightful to read too, my dear. So
I'm an open book to you, Steve.
Oh yes, and the page turns. I'm not sure how we started off tonight. Well, wait till we see that
We
one back.
definitely will be getting our
Anyway, I think we like
wrists
each other's
slapped
company
at
too
the end
much.
of this show.
Linda, we've got Markel, and just do the show, will you, Steve? Markel, 27th of the 2nd, 1991. I love what you do, Linda, but I don't feel that my boss acknowledges the effort and the hard work that I'm doing in my work with him. I put so much in my current job, and I don't get any appreciation back. Do you have any advice? Thanks, I love the show.
Beautiful. How do you pronounce your name? Markel.
Markel.
Hi, Markel. Welcome. Thank you for connecting with me, darling. When we don't get any acknowledgement from work and we put in 100%, it tends to sort of sit on top of who we are as a person. When we give 100%, we expect at least 90% back, and sometimes a boss can take their authority a little bit to the next level. I really don't feel that you're going to be in this position for the rest of your life. I feel this is just a little bit of a stepping stone for you, or a little bit of a kick-up at this stage. They're giving me basically a lot of strength around you. Archangel Michael basically lets me know that your self-worth is more connected to you than what it is the position. Even though you love what you do, I do feel that you will move forward doing what you're doing, but not in the job or the position that you are. I do see some movement connected around you, especially coming between now and the April. There's a little bit of stress sitting on top of you, but you need to let that go. Also, a little bit of cooperation and compromise between you and your boss, and speak up instead of allowing them, or for you assuming they're walking over the top of you, and that's where you must have a voice. I do see some movement connected to you round about the October mark, and it lets me know that good luck, good fortune, or you're moving forward, or the roller coaster of the beginning of this year is really, really over. What I do see is basically a new job connecting to you, and a new person or a new boss. So I don't think this is going to be a permanent boss, I just have got a little bit of issues connecting around this person. I feel quite female actually around you. Don't lose sleep over it. Make a decision, make it between now and the April mark. And when you make a decision, you must stick to your decision. There's a little bit of learning coming towards your way. So it's letting me know that there is a little bit more, how can I put it? Responsibility coming on your shoulders, and I think they're really, really trying to push you, to prune you, to move you forward. Sweetheart, it's entirely up to you whether you stick it out or you believe in yourself and learn what you can over the next couple of months. Take your learning and move forward. Thank you so much for connecting, sweetheart.
Linda, that was such an excellent reading, and I'm not giving too much away there. I actually have a fair idea who this person is. You couldn't be more accurate. So
beautiful.
That was totally spot on. Just this is why I love
Beautiful
this show.
work.
Yeah, it's just it's wonderful when we get people on the show who are right. And but you know what? There's always room for a vagueness because it's a human thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But that was mind blowing. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay, now over to you, Kate. So,
All right.
welcome to
Thank you.
your first reading for the show. We have Carmen for you. Carmen is born on the 26th of the 9th, 1957. Started a new business and it's been a bit slow to pick up new clients. What do you see happening in the next 6 to 12 months?
Okay. Carmen. Hi. Thanks for connecting this evening. I actually get the feeling with you that you need to review what you've done in the past, okay, and see what's worked for you and decide on which way to take things in relation to how you're managing your business, the people that you use. Everything needs to be revised because I feel that there's an easier way that you're going to be reaching all of your goals and so forth with the business within 6 to 12 months, okay? So, see, it's now looking beneath the surface and revising what you're doing. And with that as well, it's saying there's a divine union, okay? So it's with business, but I actually feel that there's a grandmother energy around you. She's trying to kick you forward, okay? She's kicking your butt, okay? I'm getting an A with her name, and I just feel she's saying that you've done us proud with what you're doing, okay? But you need to be light of heart, be happy. Review your colours. Colour is very important for everything, for businesses, for your personal, power. Okay, colour is important and it changes your moods. It just has so much power. Okay, so you need to also remember that you have a lot of people that you know in different areas. You need to sort of step out of your comfort zone and talk to the people that you know in the same industry as yourself, okay? All right, you're very clear, but I feel within 6 months or so you'll be a lot clearer. And if you just concentrate on what you love, all right, you will be very successful. But review everything, add colour, review the colours that you use, right? And just go deep inside yourself and do what feels right to you, okay? But you will be successful. Just go with how you feel and talk to the people that you know in the same businesses and get advice and new ideas and so forth, all right? So thank you
Kay.
so much.
Thank you, Kay. Very lovely to have you with us as well. And I happen to know that person you're talking about, and you were absolutely accurate. So
Steve, you made it a
thrilling
point of
to-
going and cyber stalking some of these people beforehand. So that
No, I'm just on observation now. I'm very, very impressed, ladies. So
Yes,
thank you very
very
much,
much so.
Linda. And
You're
Kay,
welcome.
Thank you. And it's I just know we're in for an exciting night. So there we are. We'll get more readings to come. So if you'd like to get a reading on the show, access our All About You page through Facebook. Drop your questions to us, and we get a raft of them coming up on the screen on our page. But allaboutyouau@gmail.com, and drop those questions into our inbox, and we'll see if we can get you on the show very soon. Now,
we just had an eclipse.
we did have a full moon eclipse. It was on the 10th of February here in Sydney. Would have been on the 9th. No, it was on the 10th around the world, rather. It was 11th here in Sydney. So the next eclipse that comes up is the new moon eclipse. It's on the 26th of February. So what we're alluding to with this is that all birth dates who are the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th of any month of the year, you could perhaps even throw in 29th there, this is a new moon eclipse. So you will find there is significant decisions being made here about a new direction. Now, before you go out there and execute these plans, just be prepared to have a phone call, an email, or a knock on the door that says, hey, we want you. If you've got those birth dates, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th of any month of the year, you can look forward to a new start. Now, this can be anything between now and the next 3 to 6 months. And I'm not sure whether you'd picked up on that before, Linda, but that's exactly what you said to that young man there about his birth date. And I was looking at it and I thought, oh, that's the new moon eclipse. And you weren't even aware of that.
No.
That's exactly what you forecast. So I'm very impressed, my dear.
And
There you
Mark was
go.
just saying that that's also herself, her birthday.
Yeah, 26th. So, and I'm talking to a lot of people at the moment who are born on the 26th, and a lot of them are restless. They're all looking for that new beginning. So you're ripe. You're ready to be moving on in many ways. What's your birth date out there? Join us here on All About You. Viv.
Okay, now over to you, Linda. Ravneet, born on the 20th of the 11th, 1985. When will I buy a new house? Sometimes my husband doesn't understand me and I feel he is not listening to me. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Hi, sweetie. Welcome. I feel at the stage, the first thing I get between you and hubby is a little bit of difference in age. So I do see some unbalance connected to the relationship. He's pretty strong in his personality, shall I say. What I get with you is a little bit inward or not being able to speak up, and that's basically the way you've been brought up, is to not stand your ground and just allow things to naturally happen. What I do see with you, sweetheart, is you need to get outside that square box of that home. You need to get out and find some friends or go to a social group with children, a play group, or even down to a community service place. And with that, it will allow you to find some friends and find some feet and help you to have a little bit of a voice. Hubby doesn't listen because he comes home, he's tired, he's had a full day of work and his day's done. He's very, very old school, but you are not, and you're just seeking for people outside the home. I don't see you owning a home just at this very, very moment, but I do see a sense of loneliness around you. So please go out and get yourself involved in some sort of the neighbourhood centres, community centres. Join a group where you can be a little bit more outside the centre or outside the home. So when you do come home, your day's being full, you can sit down and put the children to bed, have a bit of a chat to him. You've had a tired day and you might be able to get back with communication. That is what's lacking in this relationship at this moment. I don't think that there is an open communication. You're going to really have to... shall I say, women have got a wonderful, wonderful way of manipulating the situation. Use it. Use your female ways, and use honey, sweetheart. Good luck with it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Very good advice.
Kay, we've got Vicky here who's written in, and powerful, powerful birthday. Vicky says, I'd love a general reading with Kay. My birthday's the 22nd of November, 1958. So she's just turned 59.
58.
Or she's about to turn 59 this year. Yeah,
Vicky? Is it?
yeah Vicky. Yeah.
Hi, Vicky. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. General reading for you this afternoon. Here we go. All right. You're at a crossroads. You're definitely at a crossroads. There's a lot of very important decisions coming up for you. And I do feel that they've got to do with family and something to do with the past, okay? So, okay. You've got a lot of really, really good ideas, but you need to get the right information, do the homework, do your homework, and then I feel you're going to actually, get rid of the lifestyle that you had before. It's like a new lifestyle, new friends, getting rid of the people that are quite toxic around you, okay? That's going to happen within the next 3 months. After that, I'm seeing you being very, very clear. In regards to work, I'm seeing you going up the rungs of the ladder, and I'm also feeling that you're going to be speaking your truth a lot more to everyone, and putting up a few people seem to take your time, take your energy suckers. It's like you're going to take a step back and sort of not have so much to do with those people, and there are going to be actually new doors opening and new friendships coming to you within the next 3 to 6 months. But you're going to have a lot of clarity, all right? You're going back to your roots. So you need to think about what you used to love, what you used to excel in. And if you concentrate on just your heart, what just keeps calling you back, you won't go wrong, all right? Take notice of your gut instinct. It's really important. It will never lead you astray. It'll actually save your life. All right. There's going to be some sort of a partnership with work or with what you want to do in terms of career, long term. All right? So it's definitely really good stars and a really good feeling, really good energy for you this year. It's all about turning your thoughts into yourself, loving yourself, right? Concentrate on what you love, what you used to love, and heal. There's a lot of healing coming up for you, which is good. So spend a lot of time near water, near the ocean, all right? Okay, Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kay. Thank you very much.
you very
And thank you to Linda Usope, two top clairvoyants with us tonight who are on the show and doing readings for our viewers. Thanks very much, as always, joining us on the show. And I'm with my co-host, Vivian Summers. And we started off the show absolutely hysterical tonight, and we've gained some sort of...
Composure.
We have. Thank
Finally.
you. Yeah.
It did take some time. We got the fit of the giggles like we used to do at school. I'm sure you remember those days. And it's just, you know,
Oh, you
it's
just
a
make
ripple
me
effect.
laugh. You're hysterical.
Steve's one-liners.
Just keep
in
going
case many
along.
of them. So over to you now,
Linda?
Linda. We have Gina. And just because we have quite a few readings to get through tonight, we're going to do a little bit more of a snapshot reading. So if you guys would like to get, you know, a full reading, don't forget to go to our site, follow the prompts on the to the panel, so that you can choose one of our readers to do a full reading for you. Linda, Gina is born 17th of the 7th, 71. Where is my life headed with my partner?
Ooh. You've spent a lot of time with your partner, and I feel there's more love connected to you than him. I just feel like there's been a bit of a roller coaster connected to the two of you. I feel there's children around you as well. What I do see is basically he's committed to work, or basically he's a workaholic, and I do feel like he's away more than what he is with you. There's been a lot of healing in this relationship. And lots and lots of healing. What I do see is a lot of forgivenesses and a lot of on again, off again, on again, off again type relationship here. So I do see that roller coaster connected around that. I do see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I do feel there's a lot of recovering from, I'm not going to say addictions, but I will put it out there, connected to the relationship. And it lets me know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel coming into the winter months, which is basically your July, your August. So it lets me know that he is the right person. By the time we come into the November, coming into the December, the spring mark, I do see is where things will start to cement itself out. There is a little bit of healing, sweetheart, but I do honestly believe he's in for the long haul, you're in for the long haul. All you've got to do is basically cling it together, do it together, because if you're going to do it separately, and if you're not by his side or vice versa, you might as well let it go. But I do see if you hang in there, you heal together, you forgive, I do see it going down the path of a little bit more happiness down the end of the year. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you, Linda. And don't forget, we've got Amanda Hall coming up, and we're going to be talking about the moon in the signs, like Libra, Scorpio and Sagittarius on the way. So listen up. If you know the time of your birth and where you were born, that will allow us to see where your moon is actually and where the other planets are. See, the moon pulls the tides in and it pulls the tides out on a daily basis. So what's it doing to the human body, which is mostly 75% fluid?
Yep.
It's playing around with hormones, it's playing around with emotions, and it's...
And our mind.
Yeah.
The brain.
And then you throw in the eclipses, that might explain a few things that have been happening with last week's full moon eclipse and next week's new moon eclipse, which brings me to our next viewer, Francisca Kay. Here's another young lady who's got a new moon eclipse right on her birthday, Kay. She's 26th of the 9th, 1998, so it's one of those applicable birth dates. What is in store for me regarding, I'm wanting to start a course, but not sure what should I do about my life with this new course? And also, can you tell me more about my social life? How will I meet some friends?
Okay, thank you. Is that Francis?
Francisca.
Francisca.
Yes. So,
very nice. Okay. Just tuning into you again. All right. I see you actually doing some sort of study. They're showing me books. All right. You're going to be concentrating on what you love. All right. So, and that's actually how you're going to meet more people that are into what you're into. So I'm feeling that you're quite the counsellor. People come to you to tell you their stuff, right? And I'm seeing that you like things to like fall into place, the pieces of the puzzle to fall into place, all right? That's what I actually get is what's happening for you at the moment. It's like pushing people away, or not pushing them away, saying, okay, you can fix your own stuff. You don't need me to do it for you, okay? And you're going to actually come into your own power. Don't know if I'm answering the question properly.
Oh, yes,
but
you are,
this
my
is what
dear
I'm
friend.
getting.
You are spot on. Spot
My
on,
brain
Kate.
leaves my head actually
Yeah.
when I do readings, so...
You are absolutely spot on.
They're saying actually that you need to love yourself. You need to really look inside yourself and think about what you've learnt forever, all right? You've learnt so many skills and you've done so many things. You need to pat yourself on the back for what you've learnt and what you've accomplished. You know, instead of going forward really, really quickly, it's like skating, you know, trying to go forward so quickly. Slow down, okay? And then they're saying to me, what? Another partner? Another relationship? Feeling born again. It's like you're going to feel like a completely new person, different person within 6 months, I feel. Okay? So remember that everything happens for a reason at the right time, okay? We're all born with gifts. You need to hook into what your gifts are, what you love, and just continue working with them, and you're going to come out on top, okay, in every situation. So be true to yourself and love yourself, right? Love, the colour for love is pink. So put your pink undies on, your pink sheets, pink, love, self-love, all right? Thank you.
Yes, I'll just give you some feedback there, Kay, because it's in this job, I found when I was in radio, I instantly had the feedback from the callers or the listeners, where we're not always in that position here, but I happen to know this young lady. I've just realised who it is. You started off the reading with, I think you'll be doing a course. She's just joined a university and she's got so much study before her, so you nailed that. And she's revered amongst her friends as a person who has an ear. She listens so succinctly, and she has this incredible advice for people. She just listens, and you nailed it again. So it's just lovely watching.
incredible.
Yeah, I was just 2 readings again and again. I love watching you. It's
Because you
fantastic.
just go into a zone,
Yeah.
okay? I see you just literally lose yourself and you just go somewhere else. And
Yeah.
you really are communicating.
You're nailing it, both of you,
Yes,
ladies.
and
Thank
both
you.
of you.
My brain leaves
Yeah.
my head.
Great to have you with us on the
That's
show.
great. So you're creating
So it's
that
just nice
openness
to give
for
you
it.
that feedback as well, because
Yeah.
people watching, there can be an assumption, well, it's a pleasant reading, it's different. But when I knew that person, I thought, you got that right. And it's just, this is where the respect comes in, you know. So it's, I just want you to know that.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I love getting feedback.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so important.
But it's also easy to, in our position, to think, oh, I hope I'm on the right path.
Yes.
And hope is not really an equation, because it's a given, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because we either get it or we don't. But it was just nice to give you that reassurance.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll be back to more readings in just a moment.
Thanks so much, guys. And if you do want to leave some feedback, we really encourage that. You can leave it on either YouTube or Facebook, especially for the ladies tonight. Just like Steve was saying, that feedback's very encouraging for us, and it also helps us and guides us as well. So we look forward to hearing from you. Now, Steve, we have another one of those numerology readings for you. Are
Yes.
you ready?
Yep.
Great. let's get straight into it.
Lou is the 25th of the 9th, 1946. Now, this is another birth date, Lou, that comes in with what I was saying before. So we've got this new moon eclipse that's coming up shortly on the 26th of February, and that's going to affect you as well. So not imminently. It may be within a few days of the eclipse. It could be within this next 2 to 3 months. So having said that, I also want to say to you, between March and right up to about August, I think it's a bit of a flat period for you. I don't think much is going to be going on. However, around about your birthday towards the end of the year, I think you've got big decisions to make. Now, we're looking at October, where I think there'll be a winding up of some sort of situation. You just can't keep going on acknowledging the past. So the eclipse is also going to spike this for you. We've got another one coming up on the 21st of August. So again, it's going to be affecting you. And this is where you'll be making your decisions. Not a major new beginning. It will pop up for you in November. I go towards about the 8th or the 11th of November, so you can mark it in your diary. But that month's going to be like a new start for you, like from an old point of view, something that you've done before in the past. There's 2 big decisions coming up for you in December by the end of the year. Now, coming into next February, that's again where you're going to be very, very sure of where you're heading. Where are you long term? I don't think there's going to be major concerns. You may be feeling sometimes like you're cracking up, because in your communications with people, they're not quite understanding of you. And I don't think they're really totally on their side or your side. Don't be offended by that. I want to say to you, because you're handling it really well, and how do I know that? It's just a knowing. You're going through a long period of soul and spiritual development. Isn't that heavy? It sounds heavy, but it's not for you, because you're in your own world. And it's not a world that's reserved. It's not a world that's removed. It's a world where you've got specialised skills and specialised talents. And people are going to search you out for that, especially in your later years. I would love to say to you, find the strength, find the courage to come before the people, because I see the spotlights there for you in the future. And if you can impart your advice or impart your knowledge with people, try and get involved with the body or the spirit or the mind festivals if you can, because I would love to see you doing that. You are a perfectionist, by the way. You will find that you are a person that comes into people's lives, and you are the teacher in most cases. So many times you will find that people will press your buttons or test your patience or test your resilience, but ultimately you're the teacher, and you are being mirrored back to them what they don't really like facing in themselves. So therefore we get this conflict happening. I see you as a specialist in your career. Your freedom has been a challenge for you in the past, and also your creativeness. You're not always able to express yourself. There's a sort of repression. I feel that this could come within your career zone. The only challenge that I see here in the future is sometimes that you may want to lock yourself away, and you may want to just be in your own world. There's far too much superior knowledge in your mind to have it hidden away, come out before the public. It's testimony again to what I was repeating before. New start for you, my dear friend, you sensitive, loving soul. Bye. Good to have you with us.
You know, Steve, you're not only extremely informative, you're extremely detailed, and you go down that tunnel, and it becomes a psychic experience as well. And the other thing that I love about your numerology readings is times, dates, specifics. This is going to happen here, this month, that month. And then you fold all of then you start to just dive into that person, and it's like you are in that person. When I was listening to you then, it was just like you knew that person from head to toe.
I guess when you've been doing it for 30 years, it's just like the mechanic or like the chef. You
get under the hood and...
Yeah, you see anyone who's been in their profession for 30 years,
yes.
They expected of themselves to be just the best that you can be.
You left no stone unturned with that person. I felt like I got a picture of that person as you were talking about.
That's lovely of you to say that.
Yeah.
Well, there it is, friends. So if you would like a reading, a numerology reading, and we've got some great experts on the show tonight. We're very privileged to have these people with us. So they're here for you. you. It's all about you, our show. Join us and drop a note into our inbox. On our screen, you can see the address there, allaboutyouau@gmail.com. Drop your questions with your birth date or a photo into our inbox. It's always within the security of our show, and we'll get those answers for you as soon as we can. Let's move along.
Now, on a more sensitive note, we're just going to have our topic of discussion for this evening, which we decided was going to be the sensitive subject of surviving cancer, because it's something that touches pretty much everybody at some point in their life, or somebody that they love. There's no one at this table that hasn't been affected by it, or had someone that they love that's been affected by it. So we just wanted to discuss that, especially with this beautiful woman, Louise, that joined us tonight, and her story that just opened all of us up in our discussion before the show tonight to want to bring to the table a little bit about that. Now, when I was talking to you earlier, Linda, you were saying that you use a lot of different modalities as well with your clients. You use hypnotherapy. Tell us a little bit about that and how that has the healing qualities, similar to what Louise was saying earlier.
Cancer is a really, really touchy subject with everybody. And one of the things I do stress with cancer, or anyone that has got cancer, is whatever you do, do not give up on your professional medication or what the doctor basically has prescribed for you. What we do is we complement and we help. I like to use meditation. Also get into the core of the problem or the blockages of what's going on. It also has a lot to do with the person's faith and how much they believe that they are put here on this earth and that they are going to survive. I use crystals. I like to put someone on a bed of crystals, and I do use Reiki. I also use a lot of hypnotherapy to get them to believe in themselves and who they are, but most of all that they are survivors, not victims, and also faith. My mother, I lost my brother many years ago, and my father had cancer for 5 years. He fought it all the way through. I lost my brother. 6 weeks later, my father passed away. He lost faith straight away. My mother got breast cancer the day my daughter was born. I walked out of the hospital, put my baby in my mother's arms and said, God did not give me this child to take my mother away. My daughter is 22 and my mother is still with us. So it's a matter of faith. It's a matter of believing that, you know, cancer isn't just the end all, and it's how much do you want to be here, and how much that you don't want to be a victim, you want to be a survivor. And we are here to help, supplement. God didn't give doctors knowledge without allowing them to help the people that do get these diseases.
Yes.
But it is up to us and our knowledge and what's given to us to help them through the process of what's going on mentally, to allow them to pull through. To cope. Meditation, to find themselves, to find some inner peace that if I get this, oh my God, I'm going to die. No, you're not. You're going to survive. But you need to believe in it.
Yes, and by saying I'm going to die, you're almost programming it.
I have lost an auntie.
You're putting that affirmation out there. You're already sealing your fate.
As my father basically said, no one should bury a child. So within 6 weeks, he was gone. So, you know, he lost all his faith straight away. I have got a beautiful, beautiful young girl that I had done a reading for many, many years ago, told me that she wanted to be a mum, and she had cancer of the womb, and she could never have any children. Now, I told her over the probably 3-4 years that she would be a mum and she would have 2 beautiful children. Now, I'm sure she doesn't mind me sharing, because it is, as we say, one of these miraculous, I can't even put my tongue around it at the moment, stories of every sitting she came to me, she'd had miscarriage after miscarriage, and then I said, no, you will give birth to a child. She had the child. The day the child was born, she fell into my arms because the child had passed away. Cancer had come back in full force, and we did another reading and a healing on her, and I said, you will be a mother when you are cancer-free. A couple of weeks later, she had a full hysterectomy. she is now sitting up to prove to her I believed in what I seen, and I'm not a young chicken anymore. So I said to her, I'll go in and get a tattoo to prove to you that there is cancer, and you will be a mum, and it's all about hope, and it's all about believing in who you are. And that's what I had done. My grandmother passed of cancer. My mother is a survivor. Hayley had basically ovarian cancer.
Yes.
And I lost my auntie to breast cancer. Hayley is in Canada as we speak. And the surrogate has given birth to her children at the 28th of December, and she has 2 beautiful twin daughters.
Oh,
So
that's so-
cancer is not the end all to be all. It is about survival. It is about believing. It is about standing within your own strength, and don't give up.
My cousins had a daughter to surrogacy. The mother is American, and I went through that whole process with her. And the same thing, she couldn't have any more children, and she just kept that faith, and she has a beautiful, beautiful daughter to show for it now. So I'm really glad to hear that.
Kay, do you have a view on surviving cancer?
Yeah, I do. I lost my grandmother in '83. She was riddled with cancer. I lost a very good friend with me, very good friend of mine 5 years ago. So yeah, I have lost a lot of people through cancer, and I think what you need to do, like some of them didn't even know they had it, you know, so you've really got to get to know your body, what it feels like, and when you don't feel normal, or you feel off, or you get, you know, the red bells going off in your head, you need to get checked. And men don't like going to the doctor.
No.
So all you guys out there, you've got to go and get checked, all right? Just as we do. Check our boobs. You've got to check yourselves too.
They say the statistics with men with prostate cancer is a bigger killer than women with breast cancer. And spot on.
And a lot of that would be attributed to them going undetected.
Absolutely.
Gee, we're in the wars, aren't we? as a race, never before. We didn't have this really back in the 70s. It started to creep in. But, you know, men now with the health issues, and women as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not hearing as many women suffering health issues. I'm not sure whether it's being...
It's awareness.
It's awareness, yeah.
Yeah.
But, gosh, and here we are on notice, of course, with our sun rays, aren't we? Stay
Yes.
out of the sun. Well, thank you, ladies, for that. Surviving cancer. And let's just pray and hope that everybody who may be touched by it out there, that things get improved for you. I've got to say, and I hark back to Louise, who was our guest tonight, having kinesiology. I'm not sure what she was like prior to going through kinesiology, but I could see in her eyes she was just...
She was full of life.
I felt wonderful for
She
her.
just had this spark in her.
Yeah. And
It
there,
almost like-
there she was in the darkest hour before dawn, and she's had this awakening. I think there's something in this kinesiology.
Absolutely.
If I may sound like Father Time here, I'm a little bit ignorant of it all, if I may.
She did have that look about her as if she'd had a kind of a new lease on life, or a rebirth. And I saw it in her, I felt it in her.
Yeah.
I think we all did.
Yes.
And sometimes I think we have to have these, well, we don't have to, but if we have a crisis in our life, either ourselves or somebody that we love, it is a wake-up call, and also to make us realise how special life really is. I just think every single day I make something good out of it. I enjoy even the most simple things that I never used to.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I used to rush everywhere, and then I read a little bit about what cortisol does and how, you know, that floods through us when we've got stress, and I was like, Viv, slow it down.
Absolutely.
Kitty, can you come in? Kitty's our floor director. Now just come through.
Kitty is the backbone of this show, by the way.
We love our Kitty.
And we could not...
No,
we
the
could
reason
not
why
survive
I've been
because
standing there.
you were
Doing my
experiencing
stuff.
kinesiology.
I've had my kids to kinesiologists for 20 years. They're 20 years old now. They were 10 weeks premature born. And look, we nearly lost Luke at birth. Bartholomew's a strong little bugger because, you know, that's just what he is.
He's like his mum.
No, he's like his dad, actually.
Oh, right.
But I had them all the time to the paediatricians and all those people, and they had so many tests, and I was told they were going to be behind, and they were going to be, there was going to be problems with them, and I just went, I need to treat this holistically as well. And so I've always had them treated. You touching my arms?
No, I had my hand resting on. I thought that was the tune.
Time for a change, Steve.
Steve, what's going on?
He's only human. So
Valentine's Day
Bartholomew basically had problems with breathing when he was little, and he was diagnosed with asthma. Had him to the kinesiologist and the homeopath, as well as the doctor. He never went anywhere without the puffers.
Yeah.
But there was a moment when he was about 2.5, and we were up and down to the hospital in the middle of the night, the emergency wards, on steroids, the whole shebang. Took him to the kinesiologist and the homeopath. He got special drops. We had my kinesiologist, Bernard Carson, I love you.
Sydney-based.
Yes, he is. Wollongong and Cronulla at the moment.
I
He's
will
amazing.
drive.
He is amazing.
Yeah.
He teaches at a lot of kinesiology colleges and things as well. He's just amazing. And my homeopath is a beautiful woman called Anne Darcy. Sadly, she's gone back to Ireland, but she now does radio shows and all those things in Ireland as well. She was amazing as well. Bartholomew, with homeopathy?
Yeah.
You get worse before you get better. And I'll never forget, there was a night in the middle of the week and Bartholomew was just so wheezy. And this little 2-year-old looked up at me and went, oh, I'm dying. And I thought, he doesn't even know what dying is. And I went, no, babe, you'll be okay, and got him up. Well,
It's the worst feeling as a parent.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but he'd been on the homeopathic stuff and we'd been doing the kinesiology. I picked him up and just hugged him. It was quite revolting. It was a really large, horrible vomit, but he brought up everything off his bronchial tubes.
Yeah. All the
and
toxins.
from that day on,
Yep.
I still took his asthma medication with him everywhere he went, just in case. He's never had a moment since. He's 20. He's built like a brick outhouse. He's as big as, he's
Well,
as
there's
big as
something in
friggin'
it.
Texas. He's amazing. And Luke, on the other hand, we nearly lost with his chest, and he's just like 6'3" and fabulous. And whenever they've been crook, I've taken them to the kinesiologist and the homeopath. And my husband's been really sick, just by the way, lately, got polymyalgia rheumatica, which is hideous. It's just hit him. We've had 3 months of filth. And I've gone to the heart specialist to make sure it hasn't attacked his heart muscles. We've gone to the rheumatologist.
What is that? What is?
Oh, don't start me. I'll be here for hours. But we're going to the homeopath and the kinesiologist next week because I said to the rheumatologist, I don't care what you think.
Oh, can you let us
We're
know how that
going,
goes?
absolutely. I said,
Yeah.
we're going to treat this both ways because they've said he's going to be on steroids between 18 months and 3 years. No thanks.
And then there's all the stuff that steroids
with the
does as well.
Well, thank you, Kitty, for that.
Man, I know all about that 2-year-old going to hospital, steroids, the puffers, the whole thing. And a lot of my friends have got their children all going through it as well. It's rife. This asthma thing in young children is rife. So to hear that, I wished I'd.
Asthma is rife.
Oh
Yeah,
my
full
gosh,
stop.
it's absolutely rife.
Yeah.
I don't know that many children that don't go through it. So I wished I'd had that conversation with you 20 years ago, Kitty, because our kids are the same age.
My kids have had tapping too. We've done the EFT, the tapping, when they went through year 9. We've done the EFT tapping, and I've had. Sorry.
Oh, perhaps you.
Sorry, well, you can't miss this. Seriously, the girl next door, her mother is divine, but her mother's she's a big high achiever for her daughters. And so she had the daughter in the Miss Universe contest.
That's high achieving. Yeah.
And the daughter's gorgeous, but you go, she's a bit shy and stuff. Anyway, she came to me and she said, Gary, what am I going to do? And I went, babe, go and learn tapping. And she went and did tapping. She came second in a contest in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very good.
Fantastic.
She came second.
Yeah, in the Miss Universe Australia, when they start working out, to get off me, Rennie. When they do the whole, the stuff here. Yeah, and she actually could walk down the catwalks and do all that stuff. And she tapped, and she's 32 now. And she's an architect, and she says to me, there are days when she goes in with big clients and she's still tapping when she needs to. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you do the tapping?
No, I've taught my boys both know, but I don't.
All right.
What's the tapping again?
Oh, we do the tapping
EFT, fight or
here, and
flight.
Oh,
fight or
right.
flight.
Yeah. Rain was talking about
I did used to do it because I've always been a little bit of a nerve nut.
Yes.
So I used to get I still get really anxious before jobs and things like that.
Well, just trace back to the beginning of our YouTube show tonight. We'll see an example of that. Shakaya has written in, we've got a reading here for Linda, please. On the 21st of the 12th, what a beautiful birthday. 21st, why do I say that? Because it's the pick birthday number. If you've got the 21, the 12, the 30th or the third day of any month of the year, you have got a wonderful life in store. And what a
said
pity
the
about the rest of us.
21st?
Yes, the 21st of the 12th, 1998.
Oh, damn.
A general reading
for you.
about career, please. Can Linda do my reading? My name's Shakaya.
Hi,
What a
sweetie.
beautiful name.
Oh,
It's very exotic, isn't it?
I feel career-wise, you've had a bit of a roller coaster. So I feel like you put your finger in quite a few pies. What they keep giving me is government around you as well. So I do feel like that, you know, you need to let go of what you're sitting around at the moment. And government also lets me know that there's books around you as well. So I do see there's some study coming up around you. I do feel you procrastinate a little bit. So I have got basically life is a bit out of balance as far as career is concerned. You need to assert yourself a little bit more independently, sweetheart, and that's where I feel you need to step forward as far as outside the door, make some phone calls, get on the computer, but get that sort of into place with you. There's a lot of negativity around you because I just feel like that you've started things that you haven't finished. So I'm just going to say, don't procrastinate with things, sweetheart. Finish what you started as far as career's concerned. Definitely a lot of government around you. It also lets me know that the next 3 months is all about abundance. So abundance comes in many forms. So I do feel like that there is some important paperwork to be signed around contracts, which is basically government. It's either getting yourself into a TAFE course or a college. There is 2 opportunities around you within the next 2 months, but I feel like that you really need to get off your backside and push yourself. Opportunities are not going to come knocking at your door unless you give it a go as well. So I do say make some long-term plans, make some positive, optimistic plans within especially the next 2 months. And once you do and set it in motion, it lets me know that new beginnings connected to the books. But what I do see with you is the next 4 weeks, get yourself organised structure, stop procrastinating, and I think this is why you are where you are at the moment. I do have, you're not working at the moment, so it lets me know there is a little bit of uncertainty around you, but let go of things that you cannot change, and the only thing you can change is yourself. And that's where I say to you, get yourself on the computer, get yourself into a course. I do see government around you, so it lets me know, as I said, books, but I also see children, so I don't know whether it's a preschool or something connected or working with children that is giving me the big ticks. I get 2 years of study, and once that's over and done with, it lets me know, job well done, congratulations.
Linda, you are absolutely spot on again. I know this person and who's come through on the show. You absolutely nailed it again.
Oh,
I'm
gorgeous.
really, really impressed. I think out of all the shows we've done, it's just, both of you ladies, it's just wonderful.
You're on fire.
Yeah, you are.
Especially with the details, you know, sometimes drilling right down, you know, that takes skill
And trust.
Yes.
and trust.
And trust with spirit.
You are
Yeah.
absolutely spot on. We've got one more
Charlie,
here.
Kate, for you. We have Charlie.
Excellent. Thank you.
Now, Charlie's born on the 21st of the 8th, 1959. I want to start a new job outdoors as I've been working in a factory and I want a better quality of work environment. What do you see for me? Love the show. Thank you very much, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. Okay. Excuse me. All right. While I tune into you, I'm feeling that you're actually going to be putting out there, like looking around for what you want to do. There's definitely more study. There's a course or something that you're doing to get you to where you want to be. I do sense that you're very good with your hands, very creative, all right? I wouldn't be surprised if you do something working with wood I'm getting wood, construction. But then again, they're giving me the hard hat. Okay, so wouldn't be surprised if you actually work your way up to being an overseer or an engineer or something associated with construction, but very, very good money, and I'm seeing a hard hat. All right? Okay. You've got a lot of people around you in spirit, I feel. They actually visit you at night, but you feel as you're only dreaming about them, but they're actually visitations. Okay, something to do with your parents, generational, so back they're saying, all right? So you've got a lot of people around you trying to push you forward, and okay, I'm seeing a lot of gold around you, all right? So that generational, something to do with you, generational, passed down through generations, hands. Grandfather, what did your grandfather do? I'm seeing a grandfather, very clever, glasses, intellectual. All right, you really need to work on another one, on your self-esteem. Stop putting yourself down. That's the worst thing you can do, all right? Think positively about yourself, and think about where you want to be in 3 to 6 months' time, or 12 to 18 months, okay? Because I do feel that you've got high aspirations. You just need to apply yourself and really tune in to what you love, what makes you passionate, what gets you out of bed every morning, all right? Because the job you're doing now is not it. Okay, 3, 6, all right. A lot of healing for you too. Okay, so you need to listen to music, go to the beach, be in nature, immerse yourself in nature. Right, web of life. You've got a lot of people out there that that know you and that will help you in future with what you want to do. Okay, so don't think that you're alone, because you're not. Oh, okay. So you've got a grandmother energy around you on the other side. That I'm getting actually father's mother. Okay, and she's showing me some sort of a union, but it's a new chapter in the book. All right. Oh, holding my cards up. New chapter in the book. So it's a new beginning. You need to, do some soul searching and really go deep down inside and, work on yourself, because you know you can do it. All right? So, it's all about positive thoughts, and that is what is going to get you where you want to be.
Thank you, Kay. Kay Hinwood and Linda Usope, two top clairvoyants with us tonight, and another fine example of their talents. Charlie was the 21st of the 8th, 1959, who just accessed our show. Charlie, looking at that, that's the birth date of the new moon eclipse that will come up in the second part of the year. So, again, nailed it, Kay. Yeah, you're probably not mindful of that all the time when we talk about that, but there's that new moon eclipse coming up on the 21st of August. Are you born on those birth dates, the 20th, 21st or 22nd of any month of the year? Because you will find that We have got Princess
amazing Amanda.
is with us, as always. Amanda Hall,
Hello. Hello,
the
Amanda.
goddess of astrology. Lovely to have you with us, Amanda.
Welcome
Lovely
back.
to be
It's
back.
lovely
Hello,
to
Ian.
see you. It's lovely to actually see you.
Kay, which is lovely to have Kay on the program tonight. I haven't, worked with Kay before, and lovely to wave to Linda as well. Tonight we're going to be talking about the moon in some of the signs. We've still got 6 to go, so those that have been watching religiously the last couple of weeks, you'll know that we've already done the first 6 signs of the zodiac. We're going to do the next 3 this week, and then next week we'll we'll complete the 12. So for those that haven't watched before, we're working with the moon. Now the moon is different to where the sun is in your chart. The sun is what we know as our astrological sign. The moon is where we look for how we handle our emotions, whether they be positive or whether they be negative. And let's be honest, emotions govern every single thing that we do in our lives, from the time we get out of bed of a morning till the time we're hopping to bed at night. Our day is based on emotions and making decisions on an emotional level. So it's really, really interesting at the moment. I know you've been talking about it all night, Steve, about the lunar eclipse we had over the weekend with the full moon.
Yes.
And it sort of disrupt a lot of people's lives. I know it was in Leo, and it was the time for very dramatic full moon, where everybody was sort of over the top with their emotions. Some people had a good time and some people had not so good a time. But I can assure you, my phone line ran hot. In the end, I think I took it off the hook and sort of said, that's it, I'm going to the beach, because I needed to cool down from everybody else's issues, but that's another story. So tonight we're going to be working with the 3 signs of the next 3 signs of the zodiac, and tonight we're working with the sign of Libra. Now Libra always gets bad press because anything Libra, everybody says, oh, they can't make up their mind. They're like the scales going up and down, up and down, up and down. That is to a certain point. But when we start looking at the moon in Libra, it's actually one of the nicest placements of the moon, because anybody that you've ever met that's got the moon in Libra usually is a very gentle soul. They usually have a very fair and just way of looking at emotional issues. They don't necessarily take sides, but they'll listen intently to what people have got to say and try and offer some comforting words, usually. Not always, and sometimes they can come across and rule with what's seen as an iron fist. So it's sort of like a gentle or an iron fist moon. So it depends, and that's where the balance, I suppose, comes into the Librian moon. Now, when I was doing my research this afternoon, finding out some celebrities or famous people around the world that had the moon in Libra, the first one I came across really shocked me, and it's George W. Bush. Now, I could hardly put him into the gentle category. I wouldn't have thought of him as having the moon in Libra. He always seemed to be sort of so together and so emotionless, I think, is the way that I always perceived him on the camera. But, I mean, there must be a gentle side to him somewhere. We just have to dig a little bit deeper, I suppose, to see it. And the female equivalent to that is Roseanne. Now, I thought that was really interesting. I was never a big Roseanne fan as far as watching the show. I watched it a couple of times, but the couple of performances I do remember seeing, you could really see that moon in Libra coming through in her performances. She really gave it her all. She was very sympathetic and empathetic, but at the same time trying to drive home a message that maybe we could all adapt into our lives. So that's, a very big thing there. So Roseanne did an amazing job having her moon in Libra. So we move on to the next sign, which is Scorpio. Now, look, it doesn't matter what we talk about with Scorpio. Everybody rubbishes Scorpios. They always say, oh, they're so very intense and they're difficult to deal with. And they are that. They can be very much that. If you've got the moon in Scorpio, I used to say to people, God help you. Because it usually means on a karmic level, you've come down here to learn some very intense emotional lessons, and not all of them are bad. They can be the most amazing, positive, dynamic emotional lessons as well. But when you've got the moon and you've got Scorpio together, you've got to imagine the moon or their emotions being like a frozen block of ice. They thaw a little bit and then it re-intensifies, it refreezes. They thaw a little bit and it re-intensifies and it refreezes. And it's because they don't know usually what to do with this very intense emotional energy. It usually drives the person nuts that's got that energy until they learn to work with it. And instead of sort of trying to control it or dominate the moon, what they need to do is just learn to relax and go with the flow and see where the moon takes them. Sometimes it'll be this amazing amazing journey, and other times it'll be really difficult and really hard. So it's just, it depends on which way the moon is working at that point in their chart. So interestingly enough, when we come to famous people with the moon in Leo, Bruce Lee, and I thought that was very appropriate when the choice of him having the moon in Scorpio, you could really see it, the intensity in his acting, the way that he's able to give his performances. He channels that intense emotional energy into his performances, into his acting. And that's using the moon in a very positive way. If we can channel our moon into something positive, good things can come out of it, even the hardest placement of the moon. And Lady Gaga, I'm not a big fan of hers, but she's an amazing entertainer. But you can see that moon and how impassionate she is when she takes the stage, and everything's got to be right. Everything's got to be, you know, you can see it ticking over in her mind that this has got to be the performance of a lifetime, as if it's my last one, and she gives the show her all. So it's amazing how you can see the moon starting to work in people's professions. So the final one we're working with tonight is the moon in Sagittarius. Now, a lot of times again, Saggies get bad press too, because they're supposedly people that are very blunt and straight to the point, and they are. And they are that way too when they've got the moon in Sagittarius. It's one of those classic things, foot-in-mouth disease. And it's interesting because their emotions are usually very buoyant, very out there, very fiery, very passionate. They're very passionate about everything that they do and don't, and everybody around them will know it. If they're in a good mood, the whole world's in a good mood with them. But boy, if they're in a bad mood or they're in a downer or not having a good time emotionally, watch out, because they really will become the fire-breathing dragon. And I think they'll sort of try and scorch everything in their wake. They don't know how to do things by half measures, I suppose, and that's that real Sagittarian energy. They don't know boundaries. It's sort of all or nothing, and that's very true with the moon. It can be a moon that embraces all cultures and people from all walks of life, usually. That's usually how we see the moon in Sagittarius. And I'm only saying usually because the person I'm going to bring up as being a famous person with the moon in Sagittarius doesn't necessarily embrace everybody equally, as we've seen a lot in the media recently, and it has to be the one and only, the President of the United States, Donald Trump. And we certainly saw him and his theatrics and his emotions on stage when he was trying to become elected as the president. I don't say all of it was what we'd all aspire to or want to aspire to, and he certainly doesn't embrace all cultures equally, but anyway, that's his lesson, it's not ours. And we have our very own Nicole Kidman, and I think that's an interesting choice there with Nicole, because Nicole certainly has embraced lots of different roles in her acting career, and I think she's tried to be seen in worldly stages as being very fair to everybody. You know, she's embraced children from all walks of life. She doesn't sit in judgments of anything, and I think she's a great ambassador for the moon in Sagittarius. Stephen, Vivian.
Well, that was lovely information, and I've got the moon in Libra.
Yes, you
Yes.
do. And it's a beautiful placement. A couple of my close friends have moon in Libra, as do a couple of my close friends have moon in Scorpio, and they're very different from each other.
Very different, aren't they,
Very,
Vivi?
very different. And that thing you said about life lessons, the emotional life lessons for the moon in Scorpio, could not be truer of these two friends of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, and once they harness that moon, or for any of us, no matter where the moon is in our chart, once you harness that energy of the moon, you can move mountains, you can overcome illnesses, you can overcome any sort of adversity that you might think you've got in your life. It's a very powerful emotion, the moon, and it's something I think we sort of tend to put to one side. We sort of tend to not give it enough airtime in astrology. We tend to focus just on the sun sign and say, oh, well, you're just that. But you're not. You're made up of so much more, as we're going to find out as the year progresses. But I think also too, you know, there's all different ways that we handle the moon in our chart, and we're just working with what's known as the natal moon, or where the moon is at your birth. That's what we've been covering in this series.
What if you have another planet conjunct your moon, like Jupiter?
Yeah, that intensifies that emotional energy. You know, if you've got, say, the moon conjunct your sun, well, then that would give you much more intense energy on an ego and an emotional level. You would be very much like your sun sign. But if it was sort of conjunct say Mercury, the planet of communication, well then sometimes we can get some friction because, you know, the moon may not feel comfortable sitting next to or holding hands with Mercury, for argument's sake, or one of the other slower moving planets. And sometimes people can find that then they feel restricted or limited to how they're not able to express their emotions. I mean, the moon is a luminary. It's not actually a planet, and it never, ever goes retrograde. So the moon moves so very fast around the zodiac. It only stays in an energy or a zodiac sign for 2.5 days. So it's, you know, it's whipping around the universe very quickly. And this is why, you know, people's emotions change quickly. And it brings me to the next part of tonight's chat. And that's, of course, we can't finish the night without talking about Valentine's Day tomorrow. And I know that there's so many people look at it on the commercial side of going out and spending money and buying hearts and flowers and going out for dinner and chocolates and all those sort of things. And yes, that's very important to show people that we love them. But I'm a very, very big believer in we should celebrate love every single day, not just one day of the year because somebody tells us it's the day of St. Valentine's. It's a time when I think we should all be more thoughtful of the people that are in our lives. And at the moment, Venus, the planet of love, is sitting in Aries. So it's feeling quite selfish at the moment, Venus. Venus is saying, look at me, or I want all my needs met. And tomorrow is the day about showing our love for other people. So I think it's going to be rather interesting as people try and honour the tradition of Valentine's Day, but also still try and honour how Venus is asking us to feel, which is saying, well, I need to have my emotional needs met, my loves, the things that I want to do on my day to make me feel special because it is the day of love and I'm going to love myself. So some people might find it a little bit conflicting tomorrow with Valentine's Day, but for those that haven't gone and got their last minute Valentine's Day gifts, we did put up a little thing on the All About You Facebook page. There's some gift giving ideas for the 12 signs for Valentine's Day. So if you're stuck for an idea, head to the Facebook page and you'll see the little post there on Valentine's Day. So next week we're going to be talking about the final 3 signs, and that's when we'll be talking about Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces and the moon.
Yes, and you talk about Venus in Aries, so Leos and Sagittarians being fire signs will receive that energy as well, but Mars has just moved into hook up with Venus, and that's synonymous with real romance. Now, I think you were mentioning last week on the show, in this 2-week window, so we're in the middle of it now, it's an excellent time for love.
Absolutely, and it's a time to do something daring or different. Step out of your comfort zones. If you're not the sort of person that likes to go on internet dating, if you're old-fashioned like I am and think, you know, that we should meet people the old-fashioned way, well, that's fine. But sometimes we've got to step out of our comfort zones and do something different. And I think, you know, internet dating or take yourself out for lunch or go and buy yourself a flower or go to a movie by yourself. I think we're so liberated today that it's not like when we were young. That was only yesterday. Women couldn't walk into a bar or a public place without having a man on their arm or another female with them. It was considered, oh dear, that woman had loose morals if she did that. Well, today we have so much more freedom that we can take ourselves out to lunch. And, you know, I don't see anything wrong with buying yourself a gift tomorrow. And even if it's a gift of something really healthy, like a nice basket of fruit, I think is a good idea. But, you know, for those that are traditional people that like the chockies, well, that's fine too. You know, I mean, it's only one day of the year. But, you know, I really do think we can do something nice for ourselves tomorrow. And that might just be something simple, like put your favourite song on your telephone or whatever way you play music this day and age. You know, we used to say you put it on the turntable, showing my age again. But I think we need to stop and reflect tomorrow and look at how are we responsible if we don't have love in our lives? How are we responsible for making the change? How can we bring what we want towards us? And I think sometimes it's not even about, you know, we don't have to have love in our lives to be a complete person. We can be in love with ourselves. And, you know, when we love ourselves and we feel fulfilled in ourselves, we're more inclined to attract that right partner. And I think that's the secret to tomorrow, is get up in the morning and have a look in the mirror and say, I really do love myself and I really am worthy of whatever the day may bring.
Yes, I'm happy with me. That's the mantra.
And we were having this discussion earlier as well.
We were actually,
We're very happy with ourselves. And sometimes it takes a while to get there. But I think in theme, keeping in line with that whole Venus, with the Aries going on for Valentine's Day, doing something a little bit seemingly selfish but not, by loving yourself and doing something you want to do for yourself. Because I think there's also a lot of couples that maybe have, they've been together for a really long time, and it doesn't mean they don't love each other. It just means that maybe the hubby's at work or whatever. Go out and take yourself out. Go and have a beautiful lunch by the ocean yourself.
I think though you can fall out of love. I mean, it's because you just become friends if you're in a relationship for many, many years. You become best friends.
Or maybe go out and make that happen. Like you said, make that spark come back again.
But true love, if you are with your husband or your wife or your partner from many, many years ago, that's love's forever, isn't it?
It is for you and me, Steve.
Oh, sweetheart.
It is for us. We are rock solid. And it all from the start of this show. It really does feel that way for me.
Yes, it's...
You're my TV hubby.
I feel very comfortable with you.
Happy Valentine's.
You too, my love. Thank you.
2 cappies.
Now, have you got a time for a reading, Amanda?
Yes, just a snapshot reading.
It's a snapshot, love, which merely suggests a 3-sentence reading. Uma is the 11th of the 11th, 1962. So she's full of love, this lady. I'm desperate, though, to seek guidance about securing a job. What advice has Amanda got for me?
Okay, Uma, the first thing I want to say to you is I think you've got to stop sort of putting limitations on yourself. What I've been picking up is you're sort of looking for a job and you're sort of saying to yourself, oh, I'm not qualified for that, or they wouldn't give me that job, or whatever. Whatever the case may be, stop imagining that you haven't got the qualifications. I mean, look, there's no point in saying I'm going to go and apply for a job as a doctor and you're not trained. That would be silly. But what I want you to do is sit down and write 5 points on a piece of paper, your 5 strongest skills that you've got that you could bring to the table to an employment situation. And I think you'll surprise yourself when you look at what are your 5 top skills. And doing that, I think, is going to reaffirm with you that you have the confidence to go and apply for positions that maybe that you've been sort of pulling yourself back and saying, well, maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe I shouldn't do this. There is some part-time work coming towards you first off. I'm seeing the job being offered to you. It's about 3 days a week, and you're sort of thinking, oh, that's not really enough. It's not what I really want. I would suggest to you to take it, because sometimes by taking a step in a different direction and accepting something that's a little bit less than what we want, it actually leads us on to what we do want, because I'm seeing a full-time position being offered to you from this part-time position. So I do feel strongly that there will be work there for you before the end of this month. It may not be a permanent position, but it will lead to a permanent position.
Amanda, thank you as always. And you are being trined by Venus in Aries, being a Sagittarius, looking gorgeous again tonight in your lovely red.
Thank you. I just want to wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day tomorrow, but particularly for those that their loved ones aren't with us anymore. And I know there's lots of people out there, but they're special Valentines up there in the heavens. So for those sort of people, be very kind to yourself and know that love doesn't die. It just transcends into a different dimension.
Yes, love can never, ever be lost.
Next week, you'll be talking about the moon in Capricorn, the moon in Aquarius, and the moon in Pisces. And happy Valentine's Day to you, my love.
Thank you, everyone, too. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye.
Thank you also to our lovely clairvoyant ladies who've been on tonight's show. I'm impressed, ladies. Thank you very much. Linda Usope and Kay Hinwood.
Yeah, wonderful work. And I just also wanted to say that Mitchell Coombs... Oh, sorry, between the two, please. A rose between 2 thorns. Mitchell Coombs will be coming back in to join us on the show on March 6th. And also joining us on that show will be Zoe Sheridan, Hugh Sheridan's sister, and she's also been a breakfast host for Nova 96.9. And we'll also have Roxy doing some feng shui. So we look forward to a big show on March 6th. Stay tuned for that. Thank you again for tonight, darling. I'm going to get you to do a little testing on me.
Sure, no problem.
After the show.
Thanks,
Happy Valentine's
ladies.
as well.
And thanks so much to you too, Kitty. Great
Now-
advice.
Yes,
Beautiful.
gorgeous Kitty. Where would we be
We
without
love
you?
you.
Our backbone.
We
Mum.
just
Talking of
where would
Valentine's
we
Day.
be without you?
Now, we've got coming up on the show, lovely lady, what an incredible talent. Sammy Bunting is with us. Hi, Sammy.
Hi,
Sammy's,
Sammy.
Sammy's
We love you,
not
Sammy.
been well, by the way, but she's recovered incredibly well because a lot of people love you. So she's on the show next week. I personally have a problem calling Sammy the wacky witch. But
She's not wacky.
but she, no, I meant the witch part.
Oh.
But, well, so she's on the show next week, Sammy, and also energy worker Peter Hoare.
She might hit you over the head with a broomstick for not calling
I
it
think
that.
we'll be belted by
Or
one
the
this
Harley
evening after
Davidson.
tonight's show.
Run over you with it.
Hooroo, everyone! See you next next Monday night.
Monday,
from
Steve. If you
7:30
come
a.m.
on Saturday, we won't be
I'm
here.
having a Venus.
But I'll keep a seat open for you.
Keep
Love
it
you.
warm.
Bye.
Bye.